Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas.
As you board, please move across your car to make room for everyone.
Hey everybody, thanks for joining us. You found ResortLoop.com. I'm Tim Scott.
I'm Bob Collar.
And this is exciting episode number 52.
5-2.
Very excited by it.
Yeah, I got nothing for that.
Yeah, me either.
How you doing, Tim?
Good. How are you doing today?
I'm doing excellent. My daughter actually shot a 49 today in a golf tournament. So
wow.
Very excited for her. She had a birdie and chipped in for 2 pars. So for 14 years old, that ain't too shabby, my friend.
That is awesome.
Yeah, very excited.
Well, she had a beautiful day for it here in Ohio.
Sure did. You also had a beautiful day for your wonderful adventures.
I did. I painted our front door.
You maniac, you.
I know, and that's not vernacular for anything else. I was actually just painting our front door.
I don't know what you mean. Let's move on. Oh, my gosh. Well, everybody, thanks for listening. We really appreciate you tuning in today for episode number 52. We got some shout-outs, don't we, Tim?
We have a couple. Do you want to start?
Excellent. Yes, I do. Our first shout-out goes to Peter Pontecorvo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Peter. I apologize if I'm not. He goes by @MagicMouseMedic.
Yes. Hi, Peter.
And, hey, Peter. We appreciate Peter's been with us for quite a while on the show, so thank you so much for listening. He says he's got to send out a pic of him listening. Are you ready for this? On an ambulance.
Oh,
he's a medic. He's the guy. I believe he works down in that area and can save our lives. So
I'm sure I'll be meeting him soon enough.
Clear.
Bang.
So thanks, Peter. We appreciate that one. What do you get?
Well, I have another long-time looper.
The looper. Hey, that's catching on.
I know. People love it. That's fantastic.
Thank you, guys.
Oh, but Susan Buckley Brass.
Susan.
She was listening to our show with Mr. Tupper, about Alani, and she said from what she has seen of Alani, it is spectacular. Kind of like the Poly on steroids. That's kind of how I feel about it.
Yeah. Have you seen some of the pictures of that place?
Oh, my gosh.
We got to go.
We need to go.
We got to get Dave to get us some free tickets.
We'll probably end up staying in his garage. Just 5 minutes away. Bring your own pillows.
That's right. We could just borrow his kids' bikes and bicycle down there. That's fine.
The Resort Loop house crashers. But she said she would love to visit someday, but usually a vacation plan turn out to go to Walt Disney World. So I know how that works.
Isn't that the truth?
We
plan and plan. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. And it always ends up, let's just go to Disney.
Right.
And why is that? Because it's safe. You know exactly what you're getting. You're getting a quality trip.
Yeah. Yes, you do.
So, well, I've got a very special shout out to a very special listener of ours. He goes by @Jordan Gasly on the Twitter. Jordan Duncan.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Jordan's been a great friend of the show and always puts out, after we put out a show, he always retweets that the show's out there and just always gives us a great pat on the back. So
we appreciate that.
Special shout out to Jordan. Yeah. So and that's all I've got for today, Tim.
I got one more quick one.
Excellent.
A new follower of mine on Twitter, Lynn Air.
Oh yeah.
She just threw out a quick little hashtag on Twitter this morning, called us #SuperDuperLoopers. I giggled on that one. That one really made me laugh. I like that a lot.
That is awesome. I love that.
Thank you, Linaire. It's Louisiana Woman on Twitter with 2 O's. So
Louisiana Woman, yeah. She's been listening from the beginning, so we really appreciate that.
Awesome.
So, that is great. So, speaking of trips to Walt Disney World.
Yes.
And you're always going to get a great trip to Walt Disney World. I can't believe we forgot to do this, but we didn't do any reviews on the value resorts.
We've not.
So Tim and I talked, and we thought, how did we miss that? We got to do a show about that.
Let's do a little catch up.
Exactly. So Tim, why don't you just kind of give us a review? What are the value resorts down at Walt Disney World?
Well, we know the value resorts are, they call them value because they're the most reasonable accommodations on property. Usually the rooms are much smaller. There's a couple exceptions with family suites, but generally they're the smallest rooms on property. They have very highly stylized theming, big pools, not a whole lot of amenities around the pools. I mean, you don't have any slides, you don't have anything like that for the most part. But
well, you're right about the swimming pools because, like a lot of the new pools, especially you're talking Grand Floridian and Polynesian and, of course, Beach Club and all those, they've got those zero entry pools. These are pretty much, some of them are kind of free form at the value resorts, but for the most part, they're your standard swimming pool. They've got your what do they usually have? About two pools per resort, 2-3 pools per resort, depending on which resort you're staying at.
Yeah, I think they have 2 smaller pools, and I think each one of them has like what you call their like one grand pool,
right?
Their feature pool,
right? So,
and maybe you can tell us on this one. I've not had the opportunity to go to the Art of Animation Resort yet. I've heard their pool is a little more intense as far as theming.
And again, I have to be full disclosure here. The day we went over there, it was raining. So we got a taste of the lobby area and the food court, which their food court is actually pretty good. They've got some good food over at Art of Animation.
I have heard that.
And we walked around the resort just a little bit, but we didn't get the full immersion that I would have liked to have gotten walking around there. So I don't know enough about Art of Animation to really go into it. We've stayed at all of the other ones except for Art of Animation and the All-Star Music, but that's pretty much like any of the All-Stars.
Right. So
what right out of the gate, you've stayed at a few. What would be your favorite out of all of the not including Art of Animation because we haven't stayed there?
Right. I've always enjoyed the Pop Century.
Yeah, I agree with you on that one.
I enjoy the theming of the like the 70s, 80s, 90s, that kind of thing.
Right.
I guess the rooms are exactly the same as in all the other resorts, so you can't go wrong there.
Right. Yeah, they're all about the same size. But I got to say this: nothing screams Walt Disney World like the value resorts because of that theming.
That's true.
You know, everything is just so much larger than life.
Even the signs when you're driving in.
Yeah.
Like the pop, you got that huge pop sign.
Right.
Nothing gets the kids more excited. The kids, honestly, your young kids aren't going to know if it's a deluxe, a value or not. They're just going to love it.
Right. And what we kind of talk about when we're talking about going to Walt Disney World, one of the things we weigh is how often are we going to spend, or how much time, I should say, are we going to spend in the room?
Right.
Because if you're not going to spend a lot of time in the room, you're only going down for a short stay. And you know you're gonna commando it into the parks and spend all day at the parks. Why would you want to spend top dollar staying at one of the deluxe resorts?
Why spend $200 more for a room you're not going to be staying in?
Right.
Exactly.
So I agree with you. Our favorite at this point has been Pop Century. We've stayed there on a number of occasions. Our favorite part of Pop Century has always been over in the 50s wing with the bowling ball swimming pool and Lady and the Tramp and the giant jukebox at the end of the bowling pin, not bowling ball, but bowling pin swimming pool.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, really enjoy that resort. And while we were staying there the last time, of course, they were in the middle of building Art of Animation, so we were able to kind of look over there as we'd get out of our room and see the progress over there. So now you have stayed in the All-Star Suites, right?
We stayed in the All-Star Suite at the Music for one night. It was before a cruise a few years ago, and I'll say that room was very, very nice. It was much larger. What they did is they took 2 standard rooms and they had separated them with the wall that separated the 2 rooms. Took that out. So the one side you had like a living room and a bathroom, and the other side you had like a kind of like a master bedroom and another bathroom with a kitchenette.
Oh, wow.
So right away you've got 2 bathrooms and a kitchen area with like a refrigerator and a microwave and a nice little bedroom where you can close the door.
Very nice.
So, if you want to take a nap and let the kids, watch TV for a while, you can close the door. If you want the kids to take a nap, have them go in there and close the door and you can watch TV. It's actually a very nice setup.
Oh, okay. Now, how many people do you suppose can fit in those rooms?
Wow, I think Disney says 6.
So that's a good option for those families that need a bigger, maybe there's 4 kids.
Yeah, it's one of the few
kids.
options, yes.
Right.
Which I guess, now that Disney Art of Animation Resort has more of the suite setup.
Correct. That is correct. Yeah. It is all suites except for Little Mermaid. Little Mermaid, the Little Mermaid wing is the only one that has just regular rooms.
Okay.
All of the rest are suites. And you are correct. It is the family suites sleep up to 6, plus 1 child in a pack-and-play crib. So that's a nice option. The only other option, really, Tim, with a larger family is you have 2. You have the DVC, or you have the cabins over at Fort Wilderness.
Right. For on property, yes.
Right. Other than obviously getting more than 1 room.
Mm-hmm.
So, but let me ask you this:
yes.
as somebody who has stayed there, and you're a big fan of the moderates as well.
Mm-hmm.
Would you get, because you're only a family of 4, I'm only a family of 4. That being said, would you just get would you go with the suite at the All Stars, or would you go and just go to a moderate, which is going to be about the same amount of money?
I would go the moderate.
Yeah,
honestly. When you jump up to the moderate, you're getting a slightly bigger room. I believe now they've all switched to queen beds also in the moderate.
I believe so, and I believe both the moderates have 2 sinks now.
Great, yes.
Yeah, and that's huge. I know for you, you've got a daughter, and I've got a daughter, and you want them having their own sink.
But then also, when you jump up to the moderate, you're getting a more highly themed pool also.
Correct, and typically, and again, this is without talking about Art of Animation, typically better food options.
Yes.
So, but again, it just depends upon the size of your family and whether you can stay. Family suite will give you those extra people if you need. And I haven't crunched the numbers comparing the family suites to a DVC, but really I think it's still going to be less expensive than a studio over at DVC, I would think.
I would think it could be pretty close, depending on the time of the year, though.
Right. So, you've got at the All Stars, you've got, at the Value Resorts, you've got the All Star movies, heavily movie themed. What do you got over there? You got Sorcerer Mickey. That's the pool, right? The Sorcerer Mickey pool over there.
I believe so. Yes.
And we stayed over there. Right, every evening we would walk under the big Sorcerer Mickey hat. Similar, not quite as big as the one over at the studios. Then you've got the All-Star Music, which I've never stayed at. A place to avoid, I understand, when they have high school bands.
They all stay at the music? See, I was going to say the same thing with the sports, involving like a Pop Warner football and that kind of thing.
I know all about that.
Or the cheerleader
yes.
events.
And the cheerleader event. Right, exactly. We stayed at the All-Star Sports during Pop Warner, and at the football end of it. And as you know, the football has actually a mini football field on it with the X's and O's, like you would say, and the goalposts and everything else. And there were young football players playing out there at all hours of the evening.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the things you want to do when you're taking that trip, if you're going to stay at one of the value resorts, is to check to make sure that there's nothing going on for kids, large groups of kids anyway. because that's typically where they're going to stay.
Yeah.
So
It's been my experience also that when you go from the value resorts to the moderate resorts,
yes.
the walls between the rooms get a little bit thicker.
Ah.
Yeah, it seems like there might be a little more quiet between there. I'm just throwing it out there. That might be the case.
Well, and that's another good topic to discuss with the All-Stars, including or not All-Stars, but the value resorts. It is noisier, and I think that's just because of the amount of people and the way the rooms are set up. You've stayed at the most of the moderates, and it is quieter, isn't it?
Yes, the buildings are a little further apart.
Right.
I think there might be more, plants and foliage, between them, kind of, helping to block a little bit of noise.
Right.
That's just kind of my observance on that.
Yeah, and there's separate, smaller groups, clusters of buildings separating themselves. I know we stayed at Coronado, loved it. Stayed at Caribbean Beach, and loved that. But when you get to the All-Stars, it's those giant kind of T type structures where everybody is. There's two T structured buildings, and then they go out from there. Let me ask you this, and you've touched on this in the past. Do you go with a preferred room? The preferred room giving you a little bit closer access to the main building.
I wouldn't for us. But we drive, so we always have a car there. Even if we fly, we always rent a car. So I actually prefer to be closer to the parking lot.
Right. I agree, and it keeps you a little bit away from some of that noise.
Yes, you don't have as many people walking between your room and the main building where the food is, type thing.
Right. One other thing, since you just touched on that, if you don't have a car, and we ran into this because we flew in, we wanted to see what the Disney's Magical Express was all about from the airport to, that was when we were staying at the All-Star Movies, I believe. At any rate, we got there. It was great. I mean, the Magical Express was wonderful to get us there. But I'm going to tell you, if you're using Disney transportation, the All-Stars of the value resorts, the All-Stars, I think, in my opinion, are the most difficult to use Disney transportation for.
Why is that?
Because there are so many people
okay.
that are staying. I mean, you've got 3 resorts with all those people in all those 3 resorts, all getting on the same buses, because the bus takes its loop. And I'm not exactly sure which one it hits first, but it hits sports, music, and movies all in a row. And that's who they're dropping off, all in a row. And so it becomes very, very crowded, especially if you're closing a park. You get done with, over at the studios, you get done with Fantasmic and you head for those buses. You're going to be waiting there for a few buses before you can even get on a bus to then get you over to the All-Stars.
Yes, I can see it. That's why we just like taking a car.
Right. Where we have taken the buses from Pop Century, not as big a deal because you're dealing with one resort.
That is a great bit of information right there.
So keep that in mind. Nothing wrong with the All-Stars.
No.
They're fantastic themed. Just a little trivia for you. The tennis balls, the tennis ball cans that are at the All-Star Sports, those are where you walk. Those are the stairwells to walk up and down. Would take, because I know you're a big tennis guy.
You know I am.
They would hold approximately, if those were real cans, they would hold over 9.4 million tennis balls.
Wow.
That's a lot of tennis balls.
That's a lot of balls.
What? The Pongo icon, just throwing some trivia out there now.
I love your trivia.
At the Pongo icon at the All-Star Movies stands 30 feet tall and weighs 17,000 pounds. How about that?
That is impressive.
And there are 160 records along the balconies at the Rock Inn at the All-Star Music Resort. So that's kind of cool. I kind of like that stuff.
Yeah, it's very cool. So if you have to go today, where do you go?
If I'm going today,
You're going today.
I have to stay at the value resorts. I got to tell you, I got to say, as much as I enjoyed my time at Art of Animation, I'm not getting into a suite. I don't need a suite. And my daughter, being 15 years old now, not a, she doesn't need the kids stuff as much anymore. And I can't see myself staying at the aerial section of Art of Animation. So I think we're going back to Pop Century. We have always liked it and loved Pop Century.
That would be my case.
Yeah. I don't know. I agree with you. I think Art of Animation, with the small family size that I have, if I'm going to spend the amount on a suite, I'm going to bump up to a moderate as well. So, still love them. I love them all. And again, I can't say enough about the theming, the outside theming. The food courts are getting better.
You know what? They are getting better. And that's, still go visit the resorts, if you have time.
Absolutely.
You know what? Just do it.
And if you got small children, you could spend hours there because they just love running around over at the All-Star Movies. You take them over to the Toy Story stuff. They can climb all over Rex, the dinosaur. And we always would go over to the 101 Dalmatians over at the All-Star Movies, and the kids just loved it. And, of course, the pools are beautiful. They do tend to get crowded if it's really warm, but they have enough pools. We've never had an issue like when we stayed over at Pop Century's in that bowling pin pool. It's never been an issue. It's never been overcrowded there. Now what's that called? The Hippy Dippy pool?
Yes.
Yeah, that one gets crowded. So
here, let me throw this one out at you.
All right.
So I just checked the price for the suites at the Art of Animation.
All right. Am I going to get sticker shock?
You are, because I just picked a random. I'll tell you, I picked September 13th just to pick a date.
That's an off season.
Off season, but I think it was a Friday, so it might be going into a weekend. So $322 a night.
Wow.
Yes.
You're getting up to deluxe resort at that point.
You're getting pretty darn close.
Ooh.
Yes, you are.
Ooh. That's a tough one.
$322 a night.
Oh, wow.
You probably heard me gasp as I was typing it
in. Wow.
I know it.
I would, absolutely. I would shoot for that price. I'm staying at the Wilderness Lodge.
Easily.
So, well, I know just staying at like we said before, the Fort Wilderness cabins. The Fort Wilderness cabins around that same time, I know they're about $337 a night. So you're talking what, about $10?
Yes.
Somewhere around $10 that it's going to cost you to stay in that cabin, which has a full kitchen, but the bunk beds for the kids and those sleep, I believe, 6 as well. So I guess it depends on the theming and what you're looking to do. So. When you're researching those suites sound good, but I don't know. That's a tough one.
That is tough. I mean, do what's best for your family, but you're gonna be very quiet over there in Fort Wilderness too.
Yeah.
You know.
Oh yeah, and it's beautiful, and they've got so many activities for the kids over at Fort Wilderness. So you've got that campfire over there and all of that. So and I know. Oh, I'm looking at it right now. Over at the Wilderness Lodge for a weekend, the same weekend you're looking for a standard view, $356.
Wow! I just looked for the Animal Kingdom Lodge, a standard view, $321.
Yeah. Wow! So see, it becomes an issue, I know, and a lot of people we're probably gonna get a lot of mail on this, but if you've got a larger family, you're kind of stuck. There's not a whole lot you can do, but if you don't have a larger family and you don't mind being close,
right?
I mean, you are in one room. I know we stayed at the Wilderness Lodge with the bunk beds, and the kids they loved the bunk beds, and it was nice. So I don't know if you've got a family of 5. That's a tough call. I think I'm leaning toward the cabins before I'd go with the suite. I don't know.
I would even maybe consider something maybe just off property at that point. I mean, unless you're going to use your extra magic hours.
Yeah.
It might be worth considering. I mean, I know it's tough when you have a family of 5 or 6. That adds a whole new dimension to your trip planning.
Right. And for our friends over in the UK, if you're coming over, you may want to look at some of those resort homes or something like that, depending on how large your family is. Because I know a lot of those folks go over to. Somebody told me there are other parks around Orlando. I don't know anything about that.
Like public parks? I don't know what you're talking about.
It must be. They like
parking
to go
spots? I don't know.
Maybe something like that. So.
And we haven't even gotten into maybe splitting up your stay. That's a whole other ball of wax.
We have done that many times, and
that might be another show. That's what I'm thinking.
That should be another show. Yeah,
I love it
because we have split up our trip. I know you have as well. So, but for that, as far as the All-Star or the value resorts go, hopefully that gives you guys a little bit of information. I know we're a little scattered moving around there, but we're trying to gain some information for you while we're putting it out there. So. The only thing I got one more thing left, Tim.
Oh, is it a sweepstakes, I hope?
Wait, are you looking over my shoulder? How do you know it was a it is a sweepstakes?
You're sitting right next to me. Oh, wait, that's not you. That's my camera bag. Anyway.
It's not, wow.
You sound like you're right here.
I'm just like a lamp to you. I'm nothing but furniture. Anyway.
Oh, my goodness.
Anyway, we've got it already up on our Facebook page. It's going up on our website as we speak. You can become an honorary Monsters University student as Disney's Monsters Summer continues. And you can even win a Disney vacation for 4. Now, this ends August 31st. Check it out. It's pretty cool. I did it yesterday. It was a lot of fun. You actually, it's a little bit of a questionnaire, but it's also a little game you get to play as one of the fraternity brothers or sorority sisters, however you want to play it, at Monsters U. So, and you earn points to be entered at different times. So check that out. That would be a great one to win, I think.
I love it. So, I love your sweepstakes.
That, my friend, is all I have.
That is all I have as well. However, if you want to follow the show, you can join us over at ResortLoop.com. You can follow me on Twitter at ResortLoopTim.
And I'm ResortLoop Bob on the Twitter. And you can please rate us on iTunes. I guess that goes pretty far with the iTunes folks.
That's what they say.
That's what they say. And follow us. Don't forget Stitcher. And just thanks for listening, everybody. We really do appreciate it.
Thank you very much, everybody. We do appreciate it so much. And thanks for listening. You're listening to ResortLoop.com, your gateway to the magic.
See you, everybody.
That's all I got. You sure you don't want me to edit this one?